Breaking this morning, Ian is once again a hurricane as the now Category 1 storm with winds of 85 miles an hour moves north, taking aim at the Carolina coast. It's expected to make landfall there later today. We'll bring you the latest track in just a moment. Also this morning, a chilling picture of the catastrophic destruction left behind in Florida. Millions are still without power, homes leveled, and now harrowing stories of survival coming to light.
My chimney came down. I was afraid it was going to come through the roof and crush me.
Emergency crews working tirelessly this morning to rescue people stranded by flooding caused by life-threatening storm surges. Meanwhile, President Biden painted a bleak picture of Ian's aftermath.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The numbers are still unclear, but we're hearing early reports of what may be substantial loss of life.
This morning, NBC News is reporting at least 12 people have been killed in Florida. So far, though, state officials have not yet commented on an official death toll. We've got team coverage of Ian this morning, the damage it's left behind so far, and where it's headed next. So let's get right to meteorologist Michelle Grossman with the latest on Ian's track. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning to you both. And we are looking at a tough day in South Carolina today. We had such a tough day in Florida. So many images of houses damaged, belongings lost, lives lost, and we are looking at a tough day. So let's go ahead and take a look at the latest here. We're looking at extreme rainfall once again today. Just looking back, we saw nearly 28 inches of rain in some spots. This storm has a lot of water to it, and that has been the big storm. This is a big story. So we're going to see that as we go throughout the next 12 hours or so. We saw 15 inches in Sanford, Florida. Orlando saw over a foot of rain, and we could see a foot of rain in South Carolina today. So Doppler radar showing us that rain is falling already. We're seeing reds, yellows, oranges. Those are the darker colors, and we are seeing heavy rain this morning. We are seeing winds at 85 miles per hour. It's moving northeast at 9 miles per hour. It's going to pick up speed as we go throughout the day, and it is only 145 miles southeast of Charleston, South Carolina. A Category 1 storm. Yesterday, it was weakened to a tropical storm as it moved over the peninsula of Florida, but then it jumped back into the Atlantic. It gained some strength, and now we're looking at a Category 1 storm. That is what we're expecting as it makes landfall later on today. So preparations need to be done at this point. Flood alerts for so many in portions of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, parts of Georgia. 15 million people impacted. And where you see the red, there's quite a few boxes there. We are looking at flash flood warnings. That means flash flooding is happening right now. As we saw on radar, we are seeing that heavy rain falling. Tropical alerts, many people involved here too. We're looking at 13 million people still impacted by a tropical alert days after this storm developed. So we're looking at tropical storm warnings and watches in the state of North Carolina. We're looking at a hurricane warning for the coast of South Carolina. That includes Myrtle Beach and includes Charleston, Pawleys Island, up and down the island. We're looking at really tough conditions today. Storm surge, that is a big story. That's where we saw all the catastrophic damage with Florida. It's a wall of seawater that just moves onshore very fast, furiously. It's hard to outrun, and it really just kind of damages everything in its way. So this is what we're concerned with today. The storm surge, especially with that landfall. So location of landfall likely between Myrtle Beach and Charleston, probably around Georgetown, South Carolina, late afternoon to this evening. And we are looking at the high tides very, very closely. They would come early this morning in the 11 o'clock hour, and then later during 11:31 in Myrtle Beach and 11:54 p.m. in Charleston. This is what we're expecting in terms of the storm surge. We're expecting 4 to 7 feet along the coast of South Carolina. That is high. So low-lying areas near the coast may flood and most likely will flood. We're going to see dangerous seas as well, rip currents, and also beach erosion. We're going to see some damage along the beaches. So rainfall, that's a big story. That's been the biggest story with Ian. We're looking at rainfall up to a foot in some spots, and this is a large swath. We're not just talking about the Carolinas or Georgia. We're also talking about Virginia. We're talking into New Jersey, Pennsylvania, also portions of New York. So Northeast are also included here. On top of that, just to make matters worse, we are looking at a severe weather threat. So winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour at times, and we could see some tornadoes. We're looking at the chance for supercells within these tornadoes as well. So this is going to be a busy day once again today, and we will watch it closely for you both.
Oh, we know you will, Michelle. Thank you so much, and we'll check in with you throughout the show. Now, it's been nearly 48 hours since Hurricane Ian made landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast, and the cleanup efforts are, of course, only just getting started.
That's right, and it's too early to know the full toll the storm took on the state, and Ian is not done yet as it takes aim at the Carolinas this morning. Here are some of the sights and sounds of the last 24 hours as Florida begins to rebuild.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The danger is real, to state the obvious. Please obey all warnings and directions from emergency officials. And while the water is receding, don't go outside unless you absolutely have to.
We've shown you what a Category 4 hurricane looks like after it goes through. It took 24 hours, but I think it's all settling in to everyone just how bad this is. I mean, one of the worst ever in our country's history.
We want to make sure that we have as many crews out there supporting the people that still need help being rescued.
You'll see tons of things for humans, but you don't see as many things for people's pets. You'll have a lot of people who've lost their homes, and they're going to need, food that can be in containers and things like that, or they'll have to give their pets up.
So for North Carolinians, I want to be clear. This storm can still be dangerous and even deadly. Landslides are a threat in our mountains, and there's a chance of tornadoes statewide.
The response here and just the way people have reacted has been very, very impressive. And we understand this is just the beginning. There's a lot more that's going to need to be done.
It's all replaceable.
Yeah, it is. It's replaceable, but it's tough at our age. It's really tough.
We know that this hill is steep. I know that this community is resilient and is ready to do this.
For more on the ground now, we're joined by MSNBC anchor Jose Diaz-Balart in Fort Myers Beach, Florida. Of course, a community hit just so hard in the aftermath of Ian, as we're now able to really sort of get an idea of the destruction. I mean, Jose, we just saw those videos, pictures of homes and businesses destroyed, but just tell us about the scope of damage on the ground, what people are feeling and going through as they're seeing what's happened to their homes and businesses. What are you seeing?
It's, Savannah and Zinkley, we heard that couple, and we will rebuild, but it's so tough. It's so tough at our age, she was saying. And in fact, it's tough at any age to deal with what has happened here. And I just want to paint a quick picture for you. We're right by a marina. This was a place where there were little stores and people could come in. There's a bathroom there. The marina is right here. And this area got the full brunt of that Cat 4 hurricane, Ian. And I want to show you the randomness and the oddities of this storm. So look at over here. That's a yacht. It's a large yacht that was at the marina you just saw. It flew over that street and landed on top of that SUV. That's a yacht. To the left of that is another yacht that was moored at the marina. Look at that SUV, just flattened. These things flew over the highway and ended up here. And yet, right here, and I'm going to be careful with the cables and the wires that are here, bottles of wine, boots, that were stored in here. The randomness is so kind of like surrealistic, but what is real is the death and the destruction. And we've confirmed, 12 people have lost their lives, 2 of those in the Sanibel Island. We're about 10 miles from Sanibel. And for people that you talk to, what they went through was really the possibility of facing death. Take a listen.
Water came up here And when it got to there, the way they were saying on the news, I thought it was going to eventually go over our heads. I called my daughters and said goodbye. Now, from now on, when they say water surge and all that, it's not that it's going to be close to the beach. It can be miles away, you know. So next time, we'll know to get the hell out.
I literally watched my house disappear with everything in it. Right before my eyes.
It's all gone for so many people. Now they're facing the uncertainty of rebuilding. How do you rebuild? How do you start? Where there are still actually active search and rescue operations throughout this part of Florida. And we see unlimited almost amounts of linemen, of electric trucks and ambulances. And they're just going through, and we were just seeing a police car pass by. There's a lot of organization and efforts underway, but it all trickles down to the fact that there are people that are facing an uncertain future, and some, unfortunately, facing family members who may have passed away.
I mean, Jose, the destruction is so evident, as we can see behind you, around you, from the people you spoke with. And I know 2 islands, Sanibel and Captiva, have been completely cut off because of damage to a bridge. We saw that image. What do we know about the people who rode out the storm there?
We don't, because that Sanibel Island bridge that collapsed, 65 feet of it, actually just dropped solid concrete and steel. So the island is essentially incommunicado. You can only get to it by boat. There's no way to get on there. Take a look at those images. So Sanibel has about 6,700 residents full-time. Captiva has 300 residents full-time. But right now, they're on their own, incommunicado. People are getting there through boats, but we don't know. We don't know yet.
Jose Diaz-Balart, thank you so much. Your reporting is powerful, it's compelling, and thank you just for giving us the scope of this. It's helpful this morning. We appreciate you. Now, a nonprofit group made up of military veterans is on the ground in Florida working to help communities recovering from Hurricane Ian. Joining us now is Art De La Cruz. He's the CEO of this organization. It's known as Team Rubicon. Art, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for what you are doing. Obviously, as we just heard from our friend there, Jose, there is just so much that needs to be done, so much help needed. Tell us about the disaster response efforts that your team is putting in here. Where are your crews right now, and what are they doing to try to help?
Yeah, we primarily, as our humanitarian organization, veteran-led, we have really 7 teams throughout Florida. I'm joined here this morning, actually, with a reconnaissance team, which is one of 5 that are through the state, and their job is to be able to coordinate with the emergency operations centers and understand what the landscape looks like and what kind of unmet needs are there. I'm also joined by one of 2 of our route clearance teams, which are consisted of personnel who are able to use chainsaws to fell down trees, and then also heavy equipment operators to help clear roadways. So for each of these efforts, we're coordinating very closely with the Emergency Operations Center, both in Tallahassee, Florida, and here in Fort Charlotte, to ensure that we're coordinating and making roadways passable. And then we'll start the hard work of moving debris, tarping roofs, and helping people on their worst day.
Hard work indeed. And I mean, I know part of that work is power and restoring that, because the Hurricane Ian wreaked havoc on Florida's power grids. So how's that impacting your recovery efforts?
Yeah, you know, we slept in the dark last night, which is not something new to us. You know, the biggest thing with regards to power is right now it's safety. You know, more injuries tend to happen after the storm oftentimes because of down power lines. So we're working, again, closely to ensure safety. But once power is restored, once water is restored, that will really begin to kickstart the effort. But our group, you know, again, leveraging those veteran-led skills, we're used to those austere conditions. So we'll start moving in and doing work.
We also know Hurricane Ian, Hurricane Ian is expected to make its 3rd landfall in the southeast this afternoon in South Carolina. How's your team preparing for that? How does your team sort of determine where exactly to put its resources? How are you going to help in those places?
Yeah, you know, our team has a very large footprint. As we speak, we have a team in Ukraine delivering medical training. We have a team in Puerto Rico that's helping after Hurricane Fiona. We have teams up in Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island that are helping after that Fiona continued there. We will have teams that are at the ready for anything that might happen in Charlotte, as well as teams here. So multiple operations in different locations. You know, that's something that we scaled to, and we're confident because of the support of our volunteers and the people who resource us that we can tackle.
All right, De La Cruz, what you're doing is incredible. Thank you for that work. I also mentioned that your organization is made up of military veterans. Thank you for your service to our country. We appreciate you. We'd love to check back in with you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks for having us.
And as Florida begins to assess the damage left behind from Hurricane Ian, South Carolina and Georgia are bracing for impact.
Yeah, President Biden has already declared a state of emergency for South Carolina in anticipation of severe flooding and strong winds. The hurricane is expected to make landfall as a Category 1 storm in just a few hours. Ian was previously downgraded to a tropical storm after tearing through Florida, but picked up strength once it hit the Atlantic Ocean. Charleston Mayor John Tekelberg is urging everyone to take the storm seriously.
Given the alignment of its direction into Charleston and the Low Country, you're not going to know the difference. It's going to feel like a hurricane. We're asking folks to take this seriously and stay put. Hunker down, as I say.
NBC News correspondent Kathy Park joins us now from Charleston, South Carolina with the latest. Kathy, good morning. So experts believe Ian will hit during high tide. I believe I can hear the rain where you are right now and see it a bit. What are officials in South Carolina most concerned about? Will high tide make a difference there in terms of the storm surge? What are you seeing?
Hey, Zinkley, good morning to you. Yeah, high tide will be actually a worst case scenario, because here's how things might play out. So Ian is supposed to make landfall right around noon today, and then that is also when high tide is supposed to set in. But then you also factor in storm surge, which could be anywhere between 4 to 7 feet. And then, you know, the rain is only going to intensify. Locally, we could be looking at anywhere between up to 12 inches of rain. So if you factor all those things and that actually materializes, we could be looking at widespread flooding in the area. We're already kind of seeing some pooling in parking lots and on these surfaces, but this really is just the beginning, Zinkley.
Kathy, hey, it's Savannah. I also want to ask you just about, you know, of course, the safety of people, what some precautions are being taken there to help keep people safe. We actually know that South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster said Thursday afternoon that he's not ordering any evacuations of coastal communities. So what did the governor advise people to do? People who are near where you are right now, how are they preparing?
Yeah, well, obviously, the best word of advice is to stay home today, stay off the roadways. As you mentioned, he did not issue mandatory evacuations, but there is a state of emergency that has been placed here in the state of South Carolina. He did encourage people to have a plan in case things get pretty hairy later on today, this afternoon. He said to have a plan to get to higher ground. But the best piece of advice, if you don't have to be out today, hunker down and just kind of ride out this storm, Savannah.
Well, Kathy, we thank you for being out there while everyone else is hunkering down. We hope you can get dry soon. Thank you.
Stay safe. Thanks, Kathy.
For more on the devastation, plus the rescue and recovery efforts, we're joined now by Collier County Commissioner Rick LaCastro. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. We are very glad.
Hi, good morning, Savannah.
Yes, we're so glad you're safe. So we know Collier County was hit hard by Ian. Can you tell us about the damage you're seeing this morning, and how does it compare to other hurricanes you've weathered?
Well, I've weathered a few, and I spent all day yesterday, obviously, driving through my county and my district. This one was totally different. I think I heard the governor say this is a hurricane of biblical proportions. The biggest thing down here in Southwest Florida and Collier County was unbelievable, horrific storm surge. I mean, our neighbors north of us obviously got the brunt of the eye and the winds, and you've seen that devastation. We've had hurricanes like that down here as well. But surge of these levels this quickly. So what I'm seeing is just unbelievable devastation from 6, 7, 8 feet of surge, in some places even higher. We did a great job, I believe, evacuating people. So those that are still here, they're all dragging their belongings out to the street because they've had, you know, everything totally destroyed. But we have a lot of people still evacuated, a lot of seasonal people that aren't down here that have serious damage and they just don't know it. But thankfully, you know, you say compared to other storms, when we took a direct hit from Hurricane Irma in 2017, you saw roofs gone and a lot of that structural damage. you know, the difference there is you can go back into that house and always fix the roof. We have places now that are unlivable. And in these last couple of years with the economy, housing has been at a premium here. So we have so many people that have lost their primary residence. You know, that's going to be another extremely difficult task, figuring out where people can be housed, because when you have a house that has totally flooded, it's a total loss.
Absolutely. Rick, do you know right now of any active rescue and recovery efforts? Do you know if there is anybody that's actively seeking help? Have you heard about that?
Oh, well, absolutely. One thing I'm really proud of is the relationship we have with our sister county, Lee County, and you've seen that devastation there, the bridge at Sanibel, people that are being rescued by boats and helicopters. We have a really robust team, and I'm not saying we haven't had rescues here. There's been videos of us having our first responders rescuing people out of cars who were on a road that usually never floods, and all of a sudden it had 5 feet of water on it, and it came very quickly. So I'm hearing those reports all the time. Thankfully, they're positive stories that, hey, we found somebody else. But when you also lose cell phone connectivity, you lose the ability to call for help. Yeah. I believe we have a lot of people that hunkered down, as you say, didn't evacuate. And if they got an incredible amount of wind or water and they need help, we don't have a crystal ball knowing exactly where everybody is. So I think as the days progress, we're going to hear more stories of people being rescued, and then, you know, unfortunately, maybe some of them aren't going to have a positive outcome just because they chose to not evacuate, and that was a bad decision.
And I mean, in addition to the rescue and potential recoveries, we know tens of thousands of homes are still without power 2 days after the storm hit. What's the latest on the efforts to get electricity back?
Well, I spoke with our county manager team last night, and we have an unbelievable amount of people from Florida Power and Light, FPL, as well as the surrounding communities in Florida that have descended on us, much like Irma. The difference is when you have a light pole or a power pole, rather, that has fallen over and maybe the lines are broken, that's a repair. And a lot of times they go out and do the quickest repairs possible to restore power as quickly as possible. What we have here is a totally different devastation. So when we have transformers and poles that have not only fallen over but have been sitting in standing water, or poles that haven't fallen over because we didn't get the brunt of Cat 4, Cat 5 winds, but because the water rose so quickly, we have areas that the entire grid needs to be replaced. So it's not a matter of just quick repairs. Last night, pockets of Collier County, pockets of Naples did get power back. I noticed last night we started getting better cell phone service. So things are going to incrementally, slowly improve. But I live on Marco Island, and we were without power in some areas here for almost 10 days, and we thought that was unbelievably excessive. I think it's going to be much more this time in certain areas.
Yeah, that point you make about needing to actually rebuild rather than just reconnect is going to be one of the big stories here.
And 10 days without power. We hope that it's a little faster this time. But Rick, thank you for making the time.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Stay safe.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.